Is this serious?
Yes, it is.
I got a question for TJ.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm from Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Uh-huh.
And there's a record called You Cheated, You Lied by the Shield.
Right.
I want to know if he ever heard of the one by the Slades.
Yeah, the Slades had a great version. Let me ask him. Hold on a second. Levinsky, did you hear? Oh, yeah, the one by the Slades. That's I love the Slades. Have a great... And they did it first, by the way. People don't know that.
Yeah.
Slades actually was the Slades record first.
On Domino? Was it Domino?
I just know it was West Coast. See, now we got to bring Fred Bond into this.
Well, I got Fred Bond back.
So you're
yeah,
getting too detailed for me. I remember, I'm not one of those record collectors. I'm the guy who loves the sound. Welcome to Sirius. Hi, who's this?
TJ.
Yes.
This is an old friend of yours. This is Big Chuck from West Palm Beach.
How are you, Big Chuck?
Hi, I'm a little disappointed you got off the air on Saturday night. I went in and got a knee replacement, and then all of a sudden I came back, you were gone.
Oh, you mean on the NPR station down there?
Right.
Well, that's because we're here doing our thing on Sirius now, Chuck.
Well, I got the new car, and I got Sirius Radio, and I got it for the house, and now I listen to you all the time, man.
So what are you loving, my friend? What's your favorite doo-wop group?
Well, I got a million of them. I mean, the one I want to hear is For Love is You're the Apple of My Eye.
Ah, we're talking early Frankie Valli. Now, doesn't it always, thank you, my friend, doesn't it always come back to Frankie Valli for you, my friend?
Oh, yeah, Frankie Valli's great. In fact, I like his stuff that he did before he was the Four Seasons. You're the Apple of My Eye by the Four Lovers on RCA Victor is one of my favorite songs.
Is it just because it was produced so, it's such a poly? Is that the problem?
Produced.
You just don't like anything that's the produced.
I generally don't like overproduction. But You're the Apple of My Eye by Frankie Valli.
Do it. That's the one.
Do it. Yeah.
As opposed to Big Girls Don't Cry, Sherry Walk Like a Man.
Yeah, exactly.
You're crazy, Charlie. You really are crazy.
I am insane. I can't help it.
What warped you like that? Because, those are great early songs.
Yeah.
But come on, the production of the Four Seasons, but you know.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying they're not good records. What I'm saying is they're not my personal
Chuck,
favorite.
help me here. You're the pop guy. You understand, right?
Oh, totally. And you like it because it's Jersey, right?
Yeah, because it's Jersey.
The Jersey boy.
That's it. I'm in trouble now. Welcome to Sirius. Hi, who's this?
Yes. Can I get through to TJ Levinsky?
You're through. What can we play for you? What can we talk to you about?
TJ, called you around a year ago when you just came on the air and asked you if you had heard about Kilimanjaro by the Del Vikings. I don't know if you remember my call or not.
Yeah, he needs to borrow your headset. This is a rare Del Vikings tune. What's that called again?
Kilimanjaro.
Kilimanjaro.
Oh, yeah.
Came out in 1962.
On ABC.
I was in basic training in the Air Force.
On ABC Paramount. It was supposedly from the movie Kilimanjaro. Whether it was or not, I can't say. I doubt it.
See, I knew their movie stuff like Can't Wait.
Right, but this was a very different song. It was ABC Paramount.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was different. It was not one of my favorites, but definitely collectors would want it.
We're going to ask Fred Bond about that. He'll know the history of that.
Okay.
TJ?
Yes, my friend.
Is there any chance that sometime in the future you may be digging that up and playing it on your wonderful show?
Absolutely, we'll do that, and only if I could do Bring Back Your Heart by the Del Vikings, because that's the one I really, that's the Drifters sound.
I'm sorry, but the greatest one of all is When I Come Home by the Drifters. Oh, or by the Del Vikings.
But Del Vikings, there's something about that later stuff with that feel to. Welcome to Sirius. Hi, who's this?
Hey, TJ, it's Chuck in Atlanta again.
How are you, buddy?
Good. Can you play I Die by the Skyliners?
Oh,
I Die.
Great song.
One of those tunes that just, right?
It's an amazing tune.
Yeah. What does it do for you, my friend, when you hear that on Sirius?
Well, when you're growing up with the Skyliners and all the great groups from Pittsburgh, it brings back those memories when you're a young adult or, a teenager, and the time that you had spent growing up in Pittsburgh, which I did.
Yeah.
And it really makes you feel like you're living in the past.
Well, you can't.
And you play some very, very good music, and I listen to you every Wednesday night.
Well, TJ,
so I really appreciate you being on the air.
TJ keeps it alive. He really
I'm
does.
very, very lucky to be able to sit here and do this. And talking about the later stuff too, I think "Where Have They Gone" was a great record from that era.
Beautiful record, yes.
And some of that kind of deep meaning stuff from the Skyliners.
Where Have You Gone was brilliant.
70s, right?
Yeah, 70s. Capitol Records. TJ, can I tell Chuck that KQV actually gave me my start in radio, but they didn't know it?
And how's that?
I had been collecting records from 1956 till about 1960, and I decided I had spent enough money. I was not going to buy any more records, which would have meant I'd have never ended up on the radio. I was walking past the corner of Walk and Don't Walk one day, and on the air, they played Fannie Mae by Buster Brown, and I ran to National Record Mart and bought 20 records. all at once. That started me back collecting records, and then in 6 years I was on the radio. But had I not heard that song played at that moment walking by there, I'd have given up. The records would have been gone. I wouldn't have done them
This
anymore.
National Record Mart, of course, a major chain that started here. Now it's hard to believe.
Jim the Vogues recorded there, of course.
Yeah, you know, we really haven't talked about those guys, Chuck Don and Hugh and Bill, of course, Bill Burkett and those guys. But I know, Chuck, you broke a lot of their records.
Oh.
Well, yeah, and I sat in a session when they did it. Of course, that was, again, Nick Sensi threatening to break your legs if you didn't play it.
Nick is quite a character. I love Nick.
Yeah.
He called me, I want to say about a year and a half ago. I said, hey, you got to come play we're sitting here in our place, and if you don't come here, you're not going anywhere. I'm just kidding. I love Nick. He's a good guy. He really is. But,
he's
so you were there. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You were actually there. Which session was it? Do you
That
remember?
was 5 o'clock World.
You were there for 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. And it's upstairs of National Record Mart.
Wow.
Oh, at the Gateway Studio.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Wow.
34 Forbes.
Yep.
So they talk about trying to be a lot like Petula Clark. I remember.
Well, that was Tony Hatch influence, right?
That was the whole, the British thing. It just,
Yeah,
I
you're
guess,
the one. Yep, Tony Hatch.
Magic Town's my favorite.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Actually, I recorded High Flying Wine by Inflammable Dan and the Igniters at Gateway Studios.
Well, let's thank heaven that we're not hearing that one tonight. Welcome to Sirius. Hi, who's this?
Yeah, can you find that record by the Slaves? You seeded your lot and played it sometime?
I think we sure can. Hi, welcome to Sirius. Who's this?
This is Bill from Massillon, Ohio.
All right, Bill. What would you like to say?
Well, I like to talk to Porky. I grew up in the 50s, in the early 60s, listening to Porky and Terry B. And like to have them play Run Along Baby by Sonny and the Premiers. Haven't heard that in years.
At Homestead, Pennsylvania, where I started. They were Homestead people.
Yep.
Is that right? A Homestead group, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to get back to some music here, starting with the request that kicked this one off, the Skyliners, and wow, I Die. Again, one of those powerful, emotional things that could only come from this special place. But that's not it, of course.
I know this one. I can name that tune in 3 notes.
Now, how about that one? That's another little preview coming up for you. You know that one, right? Little Bertha Tillman.
And what's the one we're looking for?
We're looking for I Die. It's not coming. I don't know why it is. We're going to have to find it. Let's listen to Bertha Tillman, then we'll go back.
Sounds good.
This is one that everyone loves, though, isn't it, though? Listen to that. Listen to that. Hello, Jimmy Beaumont, the Skyliners here on Sirius Gold. Now, we're getting ready to go to Donnie Albert, Chuck's request, of course. Porkman.
Porky, we're going to Donnie Albert.
Let's talk about Donnie Albert for a second, and have I some.
Donnie Albert was quite unique. I don't think he was around that long, but he had a voice that was unparalleled to anything. When you heard his voice, you forgot the lyrics. He was just sensational.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, and I hate to have favorites.
Well, now, Chuck, when you hear a song like this, I know it means something. For you to come in and say, look, I want to hear Donnie Albert, that just tells you, A, you're from Pittsburgh,
right,
and B, you understand what real R&B is.
Well, I had to fight it the whole time because a top 40 pop station, and with program directors who had 10 ears, who didn't want to hear anything but what was on Billboard or Cashbox at the time. So, and of course, the biggest story, which we did on your Sounds of Pittsburgh show, was the Tommy James with Hanky Panky,
sure,
which was #1 in every record store, but he wouldn't play it until I just said, it's suicide.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Raconteurs in the early days. All right, this is it, Chuck. Come on, give us a little intro, a little classic Chuck intro.
Have I Sinned from the one and only Pittsburgh favorite Donnie Albert here on Sirius Gold.
doo-wop song from the early days of rock and roll. Call TJ toll-free at 1-888-294-8585 right now.
You cheated, you lied, you said that you loved me. You cheated, you lied, you said that you want me. Oh, what can I do but just keep on loving you? You cheated, you lied, you said that you love me. Oh, what can I do?
Gentle and lilting, I guess you'd call that, right?
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me. See, I'm the one who goes for the Colts version of Adorable.
But
over the Drifters.
Oh, the Colts version of Adorable is great. But you know what's there? I like the guitar triplets in that.
It has the West Coast. Now, as far as I understand about this record, they kind of released it at the same time, and they were kind of both West Coast guys. And came out, became a big hit, but by the Shields.
The Shields. Well, Randy Wood picked it up for Dot Records. That really helped.
So let's put the versions together. Battle of the versions. By the way, if you've been trying to get through, please hold on the line. We're going to get to you as fast as we can. 888-294-8585. Just keep holding on. We're going to get to you as fast as we can. Let's put the Battle of the Versions together. Is it going to be, if you're from the New York area, New Jersey, Philadelphia? To me, the Shields, you can't top them.
You got it?
No, I got it. I'm just wondering what your opinion is.
My opinion. Actually, I have to be honest. That's one of the few that I could not pick. They're different kinds of styles, and I like them both. I really do.
So there's no answer.
I'm not going to argue with you on this one.
Good. It's real music right here on Serious Gold.
You cheated, you lied, you said that you loved me. You cheated, you lied, you said that you want me. Oh, what can I do but just keep on loving you? Love is something you know nothing about. Love is something you can't know about. So please try to love me. Love me like I love you. Oh, please try to love me. Like I love you. You cheated, you lied, you said that you want me. You cheated, you lied, you said that you love me. Oh,
What can you do?
can I do?
Here's the guy we really got to try to get in.
He went home from the airport.
Well, remember that we tried to.
I got him all the way to the airport with tickets in hand.
Henry DeLuca
And he
is
went
here,
home
by the
from
way.
the airport.
This is the voice of Henry DeLuca, the guy who puts together the shows with me for PBS. And, we always get into these fun battles of which group. And one group we've always tried to say is we got to get the Shield. You got to get Frankie to come out with the Shields. And I think after our third attempt, you did get him to the airport.
We got him all the way to the airport. It was one of two people we got to the airport and they went home.
And he went home. We don't know why.
Solomon Burke was the other.
Solomon Burke was the other. Well, I know what he wanted the throne. Remember, he had the big throne.
Right.
Freddie Bond is with us, by the way. If you got a question, collectibles question, this is your chance to call in. If you got questions about the groups or anything.
Here's a collectible.
Yeah, collectibles. Sure, absolutely. Collectibles tonight. Now, let me ask you something, Fred. We just had the two versions back to back, the Slades and the Shields. I kind of like the Slades version. I think theirs came first, right?
Boy,
I think if it was not, I think it came out like a month before. I'm not sure if that's true.
I never knew. I always thought the Shields was first when they were on Tender label.
I was reading Marv Goldenberg's history of them, and he went into the whole story about, exactly who started first. Was the Shields. It was their record originally. Slades, excuse me.
Well,
Slades.
Marv would know, definitely. I mean, if anybody would, he would.
Now, I was delighted, Henry, when we got the Safaris to come out. To me, that was the ultimate all-time be-all, end-all, do-all having the Safaris on our show.
Fantastic, really was.
Now, Fred, we've got a lot of calls coming in. 888-294-8585. You've got those serious collectors' questions. Well, that's what we're here to do for you tonight, live. Sirius Doo-Wop Live. Let's go to the phone. Hi, you're on Sirius.
TJ.
Yo.
Bob from Staten Island.
Bobby, how are you?
Great show, but I'm being torn between two cities.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah. You know, grew up with Bob Lewis and Jocko and Dr. Jive and Peter Tripp. And
Lieutenant the Jock, the ace from outer space.
Jack Walker, the pear-shaped talker, and Georgie Hudson. And now I'm listening to these guys from Pittsburgh. I should have moved years ago.
Well, you got to understand, these are the real guys.
Understood.
These are the real guys, and they're still here doing their thing.
I know. It's a wonderful thing. You're doing a great job.
By the way, you had a crazy request for me, something by the Jive 5 called Counting Cades, which we can't, nobody's heard of it.
Okay.
We've looked all around. No one's heard of that record.
And did anybody send you a CD with that on it?
Yeah, actually, I just got it today.
So maybe, you'll play it.
Maybe.
I'm not sure it fits the show, but God bless. Do it.
All right, so we got a great expert here on doo-wop sounds. This is Fred Bond.
Yeah.
So I know you got a question for him, Bobby.
I wanted you to play the flip side of Please Don't Ask Me to Be Lonely by the Dubs.
Is There Love for Me? There's no.
No, it's called Darling.
Oh, Darling, that's the Pittsburgh record.
That's correct. Fits it.
That's the one they do. That's the one they do live, little up tempo.
You're gonna do it?
Yeah, because the record's slower, right? The record's slower.
It's a slow ballad.
Yeah, and really they do it as a jump record live when you see them now.
Yes, they do. But it's a nice version.
All right, my friend, we'll get you the record version. We got it here.
Play that CD, baby.
All right, my friend.
Okay, guys.
Thank you for listening to Sirius. Hi, you're on Sirius?
Hi, this is Marianne, and I like the first version better than the second version.
Good for you, Marianne. I'm actually with you on that one.
Okay.
Thank you for listening. Hi, you're on Sirius. Any collector's questions? 888-294-8585. Hello?
Yes, this is TJ.
Yo.
Hey, this is Phil from California, San Juan Bautista. I was born in Norristown, Pennsylvania, so I'm familiar with your area.
All right. Well, you got a question for any of our experts here tonight?
I got one for you. You played Cherry Pie earlier, and there was another group called the Tri-Lads, too, that put it out. And I'm wondering if you have another song by McKinley Mitchell, The Town I Live In. He had the original back in the early 60s, but he did a remake before he passed away, and it doesn't sound the same.
Kind of soul records, I think, right? It's a little late for us, my friend. Yeah, a little. We want to keep it the doo-wop sense, the early stuff. But thank you for calling. Let's see what we can do for you. Hi, welcome to Sirius.
Yes, I like to talk to TJ.
Yeah, you're on the air. How are you?
Fine. What do you know about Georgie Goodman? I heard you sing play his song, Take Me in Your Arms.
Yes.
How famous was he?
I got a tape of that, by the way. It's going to knock you guys out when you hear it. Georgie Goodman, now, again, another Pittsburgh favorite here. Henry, you want to chime in?
Georgie Goodman, the headliners.
Yeah, I like to hear it. This is Gunther from Sacramento, California. Where can you get that song anyway?
Hill District.
They were Hill District.
Yeah.
They're from the Hill District of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Yeah. So what about that sound, Henry? Come on, what does that give? What does it give to you when you hear a song like that?
It's just fantastic. And Ron Crowley's was a good friend of Georgie Goodman, but excellent song, just beautiful.
You're on Sirius. Hi, hello.
Looking for a song. The artist's name of Abigail is the song, but I don't know the artist. I wonder if someone could help me out.
It's the Embers.
The Embers. And that's Pittsburgh tune, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh record. Hi, you're on Sirius. Who's this?
Hey, how you doing there, TJ?
Yo, man.
How you doing, man? I'm up here listening to you. My name is Eric Brown. I'm from Australia, California.
Yes, sir.
And I wanted to hear, if you have it, I heard you mention something about the Miracles earlier.
Yeah, well, my favorite group of all time is the Miracles. I don't think that's a secret.
Oh, my Lord Jesus. Well, I'm talking about Renaissance. Have you ever heard of Renaissance?
Yeah, it's kind of a little later, though, when you hear about that's Billy Griffin, right? A little later on.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, you see, we want to do the old Claudette Robinson stuff, but I got to, like After All and He Don't Care About You, all that early stuff. That's what this show's about, my friend.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because I like one thing about it, though, is I've been listening to you for like about the past 2 months now. And I mean, man, you really got some really beautiful music, man. I mean, it just takes me back, back into the day.
Well, I appreciate it, my friend, and I really appreciate you listening. And never say no to the Miracles on this show, that's for sure. Hi, you're on Sirius. Who's this?
Hi, this is Cecilia.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, I'm from California. Have you heard that song, 6 months, 3 weeks, 2 days, an hour?
That's new and amazing.
That's the Sharps. We were talking about that before.
Earlier.
It's on chess and also on tag.
Hi, you're on Sirius. Hello.
Hey, TJ, how are you?
Yo.
I have a question for one of the guys over there.
Please.
Okay, okay, I have a record by the Evening Star Quartet on the Gotham label. Does anybody know anything about that?
Don't know anything about it, but it's great. Great gospel. They're fantastic.
Hi, you're on Sirius. Hello.
Hey, TJ.
Yo.
Teacher.
How are you?
Teacher. Up here in the mountains of Idaho. So glad to have the reception to listen to you. Teach us.
Now, wait a second. Was there a lot of doo-wop played in Idaho? You got to educate us here.
Hey, no. I'm displaced from Philly. Listen, yeah. Hey, the students in Philly, they used to be my thing. So I love the music, but also just love to listen to you teach us about the music.
Well,
and
thank
to
you,
the fellas that's there with you, I know some of them are older. Okay, fine. Keep us all alive, TJ. Keep us all live with your music. Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, my friend. I saw him at one of your shows. When you were with the Pork, you organized the whole Pork Club. Yeah, a big part of your history, Fred. We don't want to be shy about that. And you brought in the Philadelphia students one time.
Yeah.
And I remember them doing all that. Philadelphia, see, it's different than Cincinnati guys. Cincinnati guys did every day of the week, and I'm so young. But Philadelphia guys, some of their records, Mommy and Daddy, and all that stuff. It was really blue. I wonder, was it? I think I have that stuff on Red Top, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they were on Red Top. Yes.
Yeah, so they had a great sound, those guys, and I think their lead singer passed also.
Yeah, they did.
That was a terrific show, terrific group. Yeah. Let's talk about that, how you really started bringing a lot of these groups back to Pittsburgh to perform live, very similar to, well, our friend Ronnie Italiano, who's passed, and the UGHA. This was happening right here in Pittsburgh as well, and what was it like doing all that and really putting all that together, Fred? Because you're very responsible for that.
Well, it was really exciting. I mean, everything about it, meeting the people that you grew up with, listening to on the radio and so on. I mean, it was one of the greatest things.
But you always went for the R&B groups. You never went for the pop groups. Always hardcore R&B, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Why?
For the most part, because that's the music I grew up with, and I love listening to the Daddy over the radio sitting on my left here.
It was right here. Pork the Torque. Porky Chadwick is here. If you've got any questions, by the way, please call us right now, 888-294-8585, live on Sirius Satellite Radio. We're here for another hour or so. Pork, you remember playing all these early sounds, and what was your goal with the kids, and what was your goal just to get, when you got on the air, what did you just want to do, make people happy, and what was going on inside?
Well, one thing that I knew by research, that problems were beginning to mount, and that was like in the 40s, and in the 50s, and near the early 60s, things were going to happen. Great transitions, a lot of bad thinking, a lot of good thinking, where the teenager was eventually departing from everyone, parents, church, school, everything, and they were on their way, but I would play music what would dispel all this. I'd keep them listening different. I would insert a little Porky Chadwick spirituality in some of the things that I played. I was getting into the heart of the teenagers, and I was keeping them a little more attentive. There was an urgency on my part to make sure that these teenagers do not go astray. That was my philosophy all my life in my music.
And you never changed it now. Henry, as a listener, how did that affect you? Now we know the Boss Man and what he was coming from. Where were you coming from when you were trying to tune this stuff in on Whammo here in Pittsburgh?
I just couldn't believe it. The Boss Man was the greatest. I'd run home from school, put the Boss Man on. You could listen to him. Of course, early on, he was on the AM station, and it was a daylight station, so he'd go off the air, and you just couldn't wait to get home, listen to the Boss Man, and keep him on until it got dark, no matter what time of year. And it was just unique. It was stuff you just couldn't believe, and the things he'd say would just knock you out. And you couldn't go to school the next day if you didn't listen to Porky, because everybody would say, "Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what Porky said last night?" You had to, if you wanted to be hip, you had to listen to Porky the night before.
Welcome to Sirius. Hi, who's this?
Yeah, this is Tom from Chicago. Could you play Billy Bear and Bobby Clay, Storybook Children?
I think we can dig it up for you. Absolutely. Welcome to Sirius. Hi, who's this?
Oh.
Hello.
Yes, TJ Leminski?
Yo.
Yes, this is Jaime Salazar calling from Las Cruz, New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Got a couple questions. There used to be a great DJ here in Las Cruz named Steve Crosno, and they kind of want me to take over the show, and I need a couple of tips.
Yeah.
The best way for us.
Well, you know, when it comes to tips, we got to talk to the boss man, Porky Chuck, and Chuck Brinkman, who's here, by the way. Chuck, we got a young man calling in saying, you know, I really want to play this stuff and be a part of the radio experience. That's got to be tough to do today just by nature of the business. But what advice can you give this young man?
How old? How old are you? Can you hear me?
Young man.
Okay. Boy, that's a tough assignment. To play good doo-wop music, you mean?
Yeah. What's your big advice for being a DJ for him? That's what he's asking for.
Well, I think to be a disc jockey today, you have to be very technical. You got to learn everything about computers and putting music on hard drive and all that. Technically proficient, because if you're not, you'll die in this business. And then, you got to just see how good you can be with what's available. And a lot of people don't only want to play, what's on the radio. So, develop your own style. Maybe somebody will give you a couple hours on a Sunday night, and you go from there. Yeah, and hopefully that, what city?
He's in New Mexico.
Oh,
yeah.
Virgin Territory.
That's absolutely, yeah. Doo-wops in New Mexico. Hi, welcome to Sirius. Hi.
Hey, TJ. It's Joe from New Jersey.
Joe from Jersey.
Yeah, a while back you played a song. I asked for a song, I'm So Happy by the Duquesnes, and you said you would look it up, and you did, and I heard it. And I just want to thank you for that. Also, is that available?
Fred, I think I picked that up from your store.
Yes, it's on a CD. I have a 45 also in the store. What do you prefer, a CD that you're looking for?
Yes. Yeah, so you're looking for a compact disc or a CD or record, whatever it is. Fred can help you out with that. You're on the web too, right? AtticRecords.com, or what is the actual?
Well, we have the email. We don't have a website actually, but email it.
How to put someone an email if you want to email you your information?
AtticRecords at Verizon.net.
Attic Records at Verizon. I think somebody can email you any questions. Hi, welcome to Sirius.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Wonder if you could play Sweet Peas in Love.
That is not a Pittsburgh record. Porky, I got to go to you for that one. That's a Porky record of all records, right?
Steubenville. Yeah, the Stereos.
Yeah.
Steubenville.
All right.
What made you pick that particular tune? I love the Big Knock by those guys too, by the way. But what is Sweet Peas in Love? What made you do that?
Well, once in a while, a title of a song will excite me. Sweet Peas in Love, I knew what in love was, but what the heck is a sweet pea? Is that food or what? So I played it and I said, man, this has got to be rotated on the Boss Man show.
All right, go ahead. Now, I know you got a big story on these guys. We tried to find them because I wanted the Big Knock. That's the one I want, Henry. And I know you tried to find these guys.
Well, I'll tell you what. The lead singer on that song happened to be Leroy Swearingen. He was Dionne Warwick's guitarist for decades. I don't know if he still is. He may still be out there. The lead singer, Bruce Robinson, on the other songs has been deceased for some time, but I know Leroy was still around, and he did the lead on Sweet Peas in Love.
And that's one of those rare kind of, interesting kind of R&B, soulful, fun things. Well, now, Henry, rumor has it, we're going to break this news live on Sirius Satellite Radio that there's actually going to be a new WQED show coming to the Pittsburgh area, and I know you're working on groups. We don't have groups confirmed yet, but I think my number one question I get is, how can I go see a show? How can I go see a show? And we're actually putting one together for the local PBS station here. When is that coming up? Just so we can give people a little preview who are listening to the show tonight.
Yes, WQED, our station here in Pittsburgh, who, by the way, was a station that TJ and I were with when we did all the doo-wop shows, but they're putting on their own show, and I'm helping them with it along with some other people.
Yes.
And it's going to be at the Benedum Center. It's going to be October 9th, and we're going to have a good time. Next month in May, they're going to have they're going to have a pledge on WQED.
So we'll be able to announce the groups, but the actual date is when?
October 9th.
October 9th, for all the doo-wop fans in the area who want to come in. Well, it's really going to be something very, very special. All right, let's talk about the guys from Jersey real quick, the Knockouts. Another great Pittsburgh song that's been adopted, Darling Lorraine. And, of course, when Bob DeAndre comes out on stage, does the gyrations.
He's perfect. He's perfect.
Fred, what memories do you have of these guys, these groups, and just some of these great songs?
With the knockouts in particular, or just
the whole Pittsburgh scene? What was happening here that was so different for people who just don't understand the R&B flavor, what was really going on?
None of the DJs or radio stations in Pittsburgh, as Henry and I were just speaking about a little earlier, they've never went by the Billboard charts. You never know what you may have heard. B-sides, songs off of EPs, off of albums. They would just play anything and everything, and nobody would say, well, we put you in a room and nobody ever heard High on a Hill, so we don't play that.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh
Feeling. It was
just
all by
played
feel.
anything.
It was all by feel. I think that's the big thing.
And Porky was the flip side king.
All right, let's listen to the music of the Knockouts. We will come back. More your request dedications. Serious Gold, 888-294-8585.
That boy's in love.
Sweet peas in love. They're really in love. This thing called love. There must be something good. 'Cause he's doing things he said he never would.
What happened? What happened? That boy is nuts.
Sweet peas in love. Really in love. Have you seen his girl? Now do she look bad? I bet she's something else. I know that sweet peas bad. He put her hanging on the corner. He put the whole game down. Since he met that chick, I'm telling you, he's the talk of the town. Not in spite of birds flying up in the blue. Down on the roof, he tried to fly that too.
That's the legendary Sweet Peas in Love, right?
Oh, the stereo.
And mono. Now, Charlie, I got it. Since we're talking about this group, the Stereos, of course, I Really, Really Love You was their big, big hit. But something to me about the Big Knock, that's the one that just touches.
That's a tremendous song.
I guess because, you know, how long has it been that you wanted to kind of wait for that big knock and for the girl to come over, and she was going to come one day? I'd like you to check this out. If you're not familiar with this group, the Stereos, you agree with me? This song is just, it's got that punch. It's got that feeling.
It's another one of those mini dramas.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. It's a mini drama. Oh, listen to that.
The harmony's fantastic.
You're just waiting for it to come over to your door. What a lonely heart, huh?
Yeah.
There's a lonely, aching heart that waits inside. There's a lonely pair of eyes that cries and cries. I'm longing to hear your footsteps walking down the floor, and I'm waiting for the big knock. Yes, I'm waiting for the big knock. There's a lonely pair of lips remembers, yeah, the way we used to always kiss each chance we'd get. You said you'd return, my darling. It's me that you adore. Well, I'm waiting for the big knock. Yes, I'm waiting for the big knock. Girl, I'm waiting for the big knock on my door.
You know the landlord rang my front doorbell. I let him ring for a long, long spell. I went to the window and peeped through the blind and asked him to tell me what was on his mind. He said, "What, honey? Yes, what, honey? What, honey? If you wanna stay here with me."
This song was one of Porky's big ones.
Chop, chop, ding-a-little-bop. Chop, chop, ding-a-little-bop. Chop, chop, ding-a-little-bop. Chop, chop, ding-a-little-bop. Can't you see I want to love you? I love to hold you in arms. Oh, yes, darling, I really adore you. Can't help loving all your charms. And I would be so very, very happy. Well, if I had your love to keep me warm. But you go chop, chop, ding-a-little-bop. 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 Well, it's all the day long. Oh, yes, I do. That you could love me in my sleep last night. Oh, yes, my darling, I wish you would hold me. Well, and squeeze me with all your might. But I hear chop, chop, ding-a-little-bop. 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 Well, it's ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding. I went to see a fortune teller just to have my fortune read, because I thought that I would lose you. Well, and this is what she said. Oh, yes, your baby, she's found another. Now I'm about to lose my head when I hear chop, chop, ding-a-little-bop. Chop, chop, ding-a-little-bop. Chop, chop, ding-a-little-bop. Chop, chop,
Go ahead, testify.
Chop, chop, ding-a-little-bop. Chop, chop, ding-a-little-bop. Sing a little beat.
Say it again.
Instead of
Win.
Say it again. Say it again.
Chop, chop.
Mambo. Yeah. Dr. Dixon, that was for you.
Yeah. Well, by the way, my father is here, Herman Lubinsky Jr. Savoy Records, of course, my grandfather's label in Newark, New Jersey. And here we are, all living very, very happy, high atop a hill, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Love it.
Parents now live in Mars, Pennsylvania, which is very, very close to Pittsburgh.
They
very,
said
very
they were
close
from
to
outer space when I first met them.
So that is a Savoy record, Dad. What do you know?
Well, I can tell you.
Go ahead,
It's a
tell
little
us.
rambunctious here, but
boy, there's a party going on.
There's a doo-wop party.
On a sad note, we just read the obituary of Mr. Ozzie Gadina, who was the Savoy A&R man from 51 to 59. Very sad thing. A great jazz man, great knowledgeable jazz man, blues, gospel, and one of the pioneers is gone. But now, on a lighter note, we were talking to Fred Bond before. And you recall, TJ, we had Scott McKenzie on one of our shows, and
60s, yeah,
a folk pop show. And I got a little conversation with Scott, and he told me he's a one-hit wonder, and it turned out he didn't have a copy of his own record. If you're going to San Francisco, make sure you wear that flower in your hair. So I did something proactive on that. I went down to Fred, I got him a copy, and I shipped it to him, and now Scotty has a copy of his record.
Yeah, well, you know, Fred's the best when it comes to this stuff. Tell me about Savoy Records here, Charlie. Savoy had that sound, Jive Bombers, of course,
well,
and what I love is Sugar Wooga is one of my favorites.
Oh, I love it. The Three Playmates. But you know what? It was, again, Porky Chedwick.
Yeah.
Bad Boy was a hit. There's no doubt about that. But Porky could take a Savoy record like Mercy Miss Percy, and he could turn it into a big Pittsburgh sound.
Now, Dad, what do you remember about being around when the Jive Bombers were there and Bad Boy was cut? What do you...
I took your mother up to New York City to see the Jive Bombers one time, and they went on a little dive in New York City called the Wagon Wheel. And I mean, this place was bad. I mean, there were sailors grinding girls and throwing bottles up in the air when they were done.
It's like the movie Airplane with the Staying Alive.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, a place like that. And there were the Jive Bombers, Clarence Palmer and Pee Wee Tenney and the other guys, and they're doing Bad Boy and all their yeah stuff, and it was just great.
Cherry, I'll Get You Yet. That sounds like a Charlie Apple record to me.
Yeah. Cherry, let me tell you about Cherry. Cherry was the best recording the Jive Bombers ever made. But when we sent it to the radio stations as a follow-up to Bad Boy, they wouldn't play it because they said it was too suggestive.
Oh, my God.
And they played the flip side.
Oh.
Well, go figure. The lyrics were Cherry, I'm going to get you yet.
Well, yeah, that's true. You got But wait, Herman, wasn't that an older song, though? Wasn't there an older...
Yeah, of course. All these songs are derived from other older
The funny thing is the Jive Bombers are respected even today by jazz people.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Jive Bombers had a tremendous sound.
Stardust, great version of Stardust.
Because Pee Wee Tenney, one of the members of the Jive Bombers, used to do a Sinatra impression that was off the charts.
Fantastic.
All right, we've got the three legends of Pittsburgh radio here: Porky Chedwick, Charlie Apple, Chuck Brinkman, all three. This is like the Mount Rushmore of Pittsburgh radio.
Oh,
here.
my goodness.
And yeah, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Clark Race. I like Clark Race and what Clark meant to the city. Of course, Mad Mike. You know, when I first came to Pittsburgh, he was the cab driver.
Yeah.
Who drove me into town was Mad Mike. And
Mad Mike would sell me rare music. We would meet in the parking lot.
No labels, though.
No label. We would meet in the parking lot of an Eaton Park, and I'd have to roll down my window and whistle. He'd roll down the window of his cab and pass me the records, and I'd pass him the money. You know, in other cities, they did drug deals.
You got the Rivieras on call. It was a record deal. All right, welcome to Sirius. Who's this?
TJ, this is Steve from North Carolina.
North Carolina, Steve, how are you?
Oh, good.
Whereabouts in North Carolina? Because, you know, Chuck has got roots down there.
Raleigh.
Raleigh, okay.
Yeah, and I was wondering, all those shows that you did for PBS, can I buy those on DVD? Are they all on DVD?
Yeah, sure. You got to check with your local PBS station. They're all still available, and of course, just look up PBS, and they'll tell you more about it, my friend. Hi, welcome to Sirius. Hello.
TJ, I can't believe your dad is there, and we've got to do something for your grandpa as well. Sensations. Yes, sir, that's my baby.
Yeah, I love Sensations, but that was Atlantic, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, Argo.
Atco, that was Atlantic subsidiary.
Like a maroon Atlantic.
Oh, it was Atco. That's right.
And the flip side was Sympathy.
Yeah.
Sympathy. Because I tell you, I love music. But please, Mr. Disc Jockey, another big one. Hi, welcome to Sirius.
Hey, fantastic. Boy, I'll tell you what, I love the doo-wop. I would love Sirius to have a doo-wop channel.
Yeah, well, you know what? Every night, at 11 o'clock, we get the doo-wop drive-in here on Sirius. And, of course, Wednesdays and Sundays, we're right here doing our thing. You got a question for our guys?
No, I want a 24/7 doo-wop channel.
That sounds good to me.
Hey, I grew up here in Pittsburgh with Terry Lee on WMCK, Mr. Whisper.
Yeah, now we haven't talked about Terry Lee at all, but, you know, a lot of girls.
Fantastic.
Hey, I went to all those dances at... down there at Ambridge, Westview Park, Castle Shannon, The Grove, Wildwood, Lebanon Lodge. How about Whip It On Me Baby by Billy Guy?
Whip It On Me Baby. That's another great one. I love that.
That's another one that could have been banned easily, yeah. Hey, you know what, TJ? He brings up something rather important, and it was true, I think, about Philly, too. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. But not only did we have Porky driving things on the radio and later Mad Mike and Terry Lee, but the dance halls in Pittsburgh drove a lot of the music because everybody who ran a dance place would try to find a song that nobody else was playing, so everybody would come to their dance hall. Will you agree, Chuck?
Thank you. That's the prime example.
Yeah, that's right. That's where it came from. I can't get the mic far enough over, but that's right. Herbie, you want to say something about that?
You were speaking about, Savoy and the early stuff, but going back in the 49 and 50, 51, Savoy was the hottest independent label in the United States. And Johnny Otis did all his great stuff. Johnny Otis's band out in the Barrow House Saloon in Los Angeles with Little Lester Phillips on vocal. And, of course, the Robins, who later became the Coasters, were the backup singers. Right. And that stuff was priceless. And, of course, add that to the Hucklebuck, which was...
Paul, was it...
Paul Williams.
Paul Williams.
And that was the biggest R&B record, number one in 1949. It stood there for about 18 weeks.
Yeah. This is all about the early days of R&B and doo-wop tonight. Now, Pork, I got to ask you a question about a dear friend of ours here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, guy who just always comes to town, loves the town so much, Harvey Fuqua. And the Moonglows, of course, Harvey and Bobby Lester and all the guys. And a record that you made called Any Way You Want It, another one of those great Pittsburgh tunes.
Well, nobody could figure out what the title was going to be. Not even me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Fuqua, sometimes you better not mispronounce his last name. You know what I mean? A lot of those things are running through my mind. And when initially, at the very beginning, it sounded a little bit different. I said, this belongs to Pittsburgh because it's not going to be heard anywhere else unless Porky plays it.
Yeah.
And I made a big hit for him.
Yeah.
So, Harvey, I didn't get the check yet.
I think about the Moonglows and some of those harmonies. Their big thing was not do, but they would say do. The blow harmony.
Blow harmony.
That was their thing. That was their whole thing. Secret Love, and a lot of those tunes. When I'm With You and My Diary. I mean, these are all classics, especially here on Sirius Satellite Radio. By the way, we've got your requests and dedications. Phone lines will be open back up in just a few minutes. Speaking of Any Way You Want It, Harvey, again, this is one of those Pittsburgh records. It's what we call a Garrett Hart special. I like to call it.
Oh, is that a Garrett Hart special? All right.
So let's do a little dancing. Hello, Harvey.
Suck it. Any way you want. Any way you want, any way you want, any way you want, any way you want, any way you want. Anyway.
doo-wop song from the early days of rock and roll. Call TJ toll-free at 1-888-294-8585 right now.
All right, we're going to open the phone lines back up right now. We know we've been trying to get through. We've had jam calls all night. Jam emails to SiriusDoop@AOL.com, SiriusDoowop, SiriusDoop@AOL.com. And if you've been waiting for your last night request, we got about 25 more minutes to get them in and get them on. 888-294-8585. Now, I got to ask you about one of the great songs I think the Moonglows did, Charlie, and Secret Love.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you. Oh, thank you for turning my mic on. Yeah, the stuff that was done on Chance Records was incredible. Both the Flamingos and the Moonglows started out on Chance. And I remember when they came out with an LP in the early 70s, mid-70s, of all the Chance singles, and I realized that even though they were made in the very early 50s, the production work and the mastering on those were impeccable. The sound quality was fantastic.
Yeah, but forget about the sound, man. Talk about the feeling. We're talking about feeling.
You want to go into feeling?
Yeah, we're talking about feeling. When you hear someone like Harvey singing, "Please Send Me Someone to Love," what he did to that
Don't
song. forget
Bobby Lester was a very important part of that vocalizing.
Of course.
It was not all Harvey. It was Harvey and Bobby.
We're not
They
taking away
traded.
anything from Bobby.
Bobby was. But you know, that song, Secret Love, I had always listened to Doris Day when I was a little kid because I thought she was a hot-looking chick, you know. But when I heard the Moonglows sing Secret Love, my allegiance changed. And when they go into that song, your blood just sort of feels warm. And
that's why you were hitting on me. Now I understand. I didn't understand why you kept sending me that record.
And the perspiration starts to come on.
My.
It's just mad. And you want a woman right there with you.
You get me hot. Welcome to Sirius. Hi, who's this? Hello?
Move away a little bit, I think. Yeah.
You're on Sirius. Who's this? Hi.
Hey, Bob Lafretto, Pitcairn, Pennsylvania.
Bob Lafretto.
I live in New York now, and I just wanted to give Porky my best. And I remember all those good times at the Brooklyn Ballroom and the White Elephant in White Oak.
How about that, Porky? Remember those days?
Never forget them because those were the greatest. That was a part of my life. I can remember we had a tremendous storm, and we figured no one would be at Brooklyn Ballroom because it was half flooded anyway, and that was the biggest crowd we put in there in its history. They come out. I don't know if they were firemen with boots, but they were there.
And what about that famous picture, Pork? Remember the kids, hundreds of thousands, they just all showed up because they heard you were going to be downtown.
It was a national record mark.
Well, Charlie knows all about that. 10,000 people on the street.
I went down there along with my other friends. Frank Zuri might have been one of them, from
Frankie
Pure Gold.
Zuri, yeah.
Frankie Zuri. And Porky was putting out his album. He went to National Record Mart in what we call Market Square here in Pittsburgh. And they announced on the radio he was going to be there. They had to keep the traffic. They had to stop all the traffic and buses. They couldn't get into the area because there had to be 10,000.
The picture was phenomenal.
There had to be 10,000
all those
people
kids,
in there,
just, oh, my God.
It was
Welcome
unreal.
to Sirius. Hi, who's this?
Hi, this is Jerry, and I'm calling from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah.
Thanks for talking about the Moonglows. How about, if possible, Sincerely by the Moonglows?
Bobby Lester, of course, Sincerely. I often ask those guys.
Oh, TJ, it's you.
Yeah.
Oh, how nice to talk to you. Oh,
You're on the air again, TJ.
I pretend. I just pretend. I thank you very much. But, it's interesting because they never held any grudge for the McGuire sisters at all. Hi, welcome to Sirius. Hello.
Yes, this is Mark Williams calling.
Mark, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you, TJ?
Good. What can we play for you? What do you want to ask, my friend?
Okay, well, I'd like to ask Porky if he could play the Congressman, some sort of Congressman song for my father. He brought me up in this music. He listened to Porky back in the 50s, and I listen to you every Wednesday and Sunday, and I listen to Charlie all the time, too.
Thank you.
Wasn't that nice? I don't remember that one. Do you?
I don't either, but they're...
The only thing that I could say, I'm not sure I remember, but my desire is to make your heart expire or something. I don't know. You got us confused.
Well, you know what? He mentioned there was a song on VJ. I hate to do this to you, but called "The Convention" by the Delegates. Maybe that was it. But we want, Herman and I were talking to also Savoy Records, the Ravens.
Yeah.
The Ravens were a very important group there. Porky also sold out the Civic Arena. You were the first one to do it, right, Porky?
I think we broke Judy Garland's record.
Yep. You
There
did.
was I don't know how many were
Oh, they were climbing on the rafters.
When you want to talk about the Ravens, I want to play a song
you know
for
what?
you.
50.
17,000.
How many?
17,000.
17,000.
I wonder how much money I made.
Not much. You probably didn't.
You know what?
What?
I paid to get in.
Yeah, you paid to get in. That's funny.
You're like Little Richard. He never got paid. All right. What do you got there?
This is not a Savoy record by the Ravens, but it is one of the Ravens songs that I hear that just drives me wild. Give me a simple prayer.
Oh, my God. Argo. Fantastic
When
song.
I hear this song, it's like the dominoes.
I cry.
I cry.
I cry.
You want
I
to
do.
cry?
I
We're
wanna
going to cry together.
All right.
We are going to cry.
We're going to cry because you played the wrong song.
That's not the song. That's the song.
There
Listen to
it
that.
is.
How about that? Listen to that. Wow. That's music. Make no
Check it
mistake.
out.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Serious.
Give me a tiny thread of sunshine. Give me a candle in the dark. Give me the right to gladness, the right to sadness when I'm alone. When I'm alone. Oh, give me a breeze to stir the treetops. Give me a rainbow in the rain. Give me a child to sing to, a hope to cling to when I'm in pain. A simple prayer, a dream to share, someone who cares for
What's left to say after that? You know, what is what is
I have
left to
tears
say
in my
after
eyes.
this?
That's incredible. Chuck, come on over.
Come on over, Chuck.
Here.
Let's,
Because you know,
KQB, we got to talk about the man with the window, the man with the voice. Chuck,
Yeah.
now you're on KAAM,
Right.
and you're playing all the great stuff the way you want to do it,
50s and 60s, yeah.
which is
A
really.
little bit of everything, yeah.
What do you, when you look back at the times in Pittsburgh? What do you want to be remembered for? Not that you're anywhere near to retirement, but what do you want to be remembered? What do you want people to remember you, your fans, everybody around the world who's listening right now?
Well, I think the thing I get remembered was bringing the Beatles on in September of '64.
oh my gosh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the phenomenon of phenomenons.
Yeah.
But, you know, just for being part of the music scene here, coming in, not knowing much about it, even though I was born here, indoctrinated so fast, when I knew to survive, I had to be indoctrinated correctly and learn everything there was about the history of Pittsburgh music.
And listen to the other guy. Listen to what the other guys were doing, and then incorporate that with your own style. and your own-
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and not a lot of guys at 1410 KQB turned their back on, you know, Porky. That stuff doesn't mean anything. Has no audience here. They might not have had a 20 share, but he had the audience. And you've heard by the calls tonight. Incredible. That's who they remember and always will.
Well, Chuck, wouldn't you say that Pittsburgh is a place where loyalty plays a big, big part in what happens.
Loyalty is number one here.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's why people still, they remember Chuck Brinkman fondly. I mean, everybody, they always say, "Oh, you ever hear from Chuck Brinkman?" That's why they'll go see Porky if he appears for 25 minutes at a function somewhere.
Sure. Now, Garrett, I got to ask you something about it. Garrett's listening and thinking, "Yeah, I went to all the dances." Where did you grow up, or where did Jens grow up around here?
Jens.
I grew up in the North Hills. Went to North Catholic in the city schools. And dances every Friday night. Kids coming into the schools and just partying down.
And hearing this man on the radio, what did that mean to you?
Chuck,
It's just as good.
Well, the fun things like the disc derby. Yeah. There'd be the first heat of the KQV disc derby, and listening for the songs and calling in to vote on the songs that we wanted to play. It was just a lot of fun. It was great radio.
Three songs every night and pick the one, and that won the derby.
And that window was something very, very special, because when I went to see American Graffiti, and the first time I saw it, and what's his name? I forget the name of the actor, but he goes back up to see Wolfman Jack.
Richard Dreyfuss.
I saw the KQV window there. That was what connected you guys
to the world,
directly to the people, and it was. You would wave to us, and you'd joke through the glass. And it made it that's what's missing today in so much of what goes on in radio and in a lot of show business.
Hey, maybe.
Yeah,
exactly. We even learned to do sign language.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I won't tell you what signs they made occasionally. But.
Henry.
And the location was just great because it was where one of the streetcars stopped and you get off to get to another one. So when I used to go to work at my dad's restaurant at 12 years old,
the Lucas restaurant in the Strip District,
a streetcar, I'd stop and kind of dally around a while in front of KQV until my other streetcar came over on Liberty Avenue.
Or until his transfer ran out.
That's right.
Yeah, that was it.
All right, now we've got about 15 minutes left. If you'd like to reach us, we're going to open the phone lines one last time tonight. Is 1-888-294-8585, 1-888-294-8585. This is WOP Gold on Sirius Satellite Radio, live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and a great, great party tonight. And your last chance, of course, to talk to Porky, Charlie Apple, Chuck Brinkman. They're all here. I want to ask you guys about the Dominoes.
I love the Dominoes.
I want to talk about the standards, the Liberty stuff.
Billy Ward?
Oh, no, that's
Billy Ward.
Billy Ward's Dominoes, but it was Gene Mumford who sang the standards.
Eugene was the lead.
Yeah.
But when you hear a song like Stardust,
I still played it last Friday night.
Isn't this what we're talking about?
Yeah.
That feeling that we get?
Yeah, it rips you.
Yeah.
That feeling that we get. And if you share the feeling, give us a call. Let us know. Last chance. Welcome to Sirius Gold, and I think one of the greatest songs ever waxed.
And the purple dusk of twilight time steals across the meadows of my heart. High up in the sky, the little stars climb, always reminding me that we're apart.
Yes, DJ.
You wander down the lane and far away, leaving me a song that will not die. Love is now the stardust of yesterday, the music of the years gone.
Hi, sir. This is DJ Rebel from Porky.
Sometimes I wonder why I spend the lonely night dreaming of a song. The melody haunts my reverie, and I am once again you.
I get talked between this and Deep Purple. I get caught between the two of these records.
Yeah, but you know, some of those things on Federal, like when the Swallows come back to Capistrano, were beautiful too.
Microphone going on, right? You're in a live doo-wop party.
We got a guy wants to say hi to you from McKeesport, Porky.
He says, "Great googly moo, Pork."
How are you? And what's your name? Oh.
Put the headset on.
He just wanted to let you know he loved Great Googly Moo, Pork.
Great Googly Moo. Pookie said, "What is that?" And he's the one that sang it. He said, "Throw it out the window." You know what I mean? I made it a big hit for him.
You know what the problem is here? Porky's sitting next to a
There was a
beautiful
record.
woman.
There was a record I can't think about. I played it. It was sent to me. No one ever played it. So 4 years later, I ran into it in a corner somewhere. 4 years later. And it was the flip side. I had the wrong side. I took 4 years later playing the wrong side. You know I was crazy, right?
You were crazy.
I made that one of the biggest hit records in Pittsburgh, and I can't remember much about it. Maybe someone will call in and tell me about it.
Hi, you're on Sirius. Who's this?
Hello?
Yeah, hi.
Oops.
Hi, you're on
Hello.
Sirius. Who's this?
Hello, this is Mike in Atlanta.
Hello,
Hey, Mike.
Hey, great, guys. Just bringing back great memories. And, of course, you know, one of the great groups that I know you've talked about earlier were the Platters. And, you know, they're great.
We didn't talk about the Platters as much as we should have tonight.
Yeah, but
well, tell me whatever happened to Garnett Mims.
That's a good question.
I don't know what happened. I know he had some good records, but I don't know what happened to him.
what happened to him.
But the Platters, I mean, my God, you think about those standards and Tony Williams. Gets no
The
better
Great
than
Pretender still sends chills up my spine. Yeah.
Welcome to Sirius. Hi, who's this?
I just Bill back again. I got cut off somehow.
Yeah, man. What can we do for you?
Well, are you going to try and get the Great Googly Moo? I heard you guys talking a little bit about it. Porky remembers it, right? And Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
And like I say, I just wanted to thank him, guys. I'm in Virginia now, but grew up listening to Porky. I'm 65, and I listened to Porky when I was starting about 12. So
You're a youngster yet.
yeah, right.
Well, thank you for listening. Hi, welcome to Sirius.
Yes, TJ.
Yo.
Roger Williams calling from Somerset, Pennsylvania.
Not the Ivory guy. What?
No, not the.
Are you playing the piano tonight or what?
Not the piano player, but I have met him in person.
All right. So what's up?
My son called you a little bit ago. First of all, let me identify myself. I grew up in Charleroi.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I also went to many dances back in the late 50s and early 60s, and I remember a group called the Congressmen. They played at the Lock 4 Fire Hall in North Charleroi, and I just wondered if anybody ever heard of them.
We're working on these congressmen tonight.
Mon Valley Memories.
Mon
Valley Memories. Yes, sir. You got it.
Yeah.
Probably a local group up that way.
Yeah, sure. All right, let me ask you three guys. We've got Legends of Pittsburgh Radio with us tonight. We thank you for joining us here on Sirius Satellite
Does that
Radio.
mean we're close to dying, or what does
we got
that
a few
mean?
minutes left. No, it just means you've affected all our lives in such a big way.
Okay.
I want to ask each one of you, starting with Chuck Brinkman. Chuck, when it comes back to looking over the big picture of what you did here and your life here, what do you want to tell everyone worldwide listening on Sirius?
I wish I could come back.
Yeah.
No, but it'll never escape me. I mean, I'm addicted to this town, and just being here the last couple of days, I feel like, wow, I never leave it. You know, I watch every Pirate game, every Steeler game. I am not a Texan.
What do you say to the audience, Chuck? What do you say to the audience that was there with you throughout the whole time and just keeps you in their heart?
Loyalty, and it's the big name of the game. And I get a lot of calls in Texas from transplants and people who were listening, and it just makes you feel so good to hear these people and have these great memories that they have. I saw you at a dance in Bethel Park. I was here with you.
Oh, yeah.
That just rings a bell for me.
Any great story of all the dances you went to? Is there any one thing that sticks out in your mind? You say, I remember the night when blah, 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 blah happened. Anything special like that?
They were all great, because I was playing Porky's music.
Yeah.
And now we know.
Because without it, I'd have been sent home, at 10 o'clock, go home.
Charlie, what about you? This is, you think about, I can hear Earl Grant coming.
I'm a latecomer, really, to the game when it comes to the radio. But, if I want to be remembered for anything, it's just bringing smiles to people's faces and hearts when they play a tune, whether it's something they remember well or something that sounds good or sounds old, and they find a new song that was actually one that's been out for 40 years and they still love it, and to let them experience what real music is like, because it's hard to find a lot nowadays. And Porky, you know, he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because he is one of the originators of all of this. And I think that the funniest thing that ever happened to me was the time I was doing a dance at the Knights of Columbus in Oakmont, or Verona. I think it was Oakmont, maybe Verona. And the Dell Vikings were supposedly there. I'm not sure who they were, but they said they were the Dell Vikings. And a fight broke out. And Chuck, I don't know if you remember ever doing this, but I grabbed all my records and I hid under the table. Oh, yeah. I didn't, they could have killed each other out there, but I wanted to save the records. Save the records. So in some ways, that's what I want to be remembered for, saving the music in some way.
But Charlie, you've always walked to, you know, I can say this because I've known you dearly now, very close for a long, over 12 years now, and you've always walked to your own beat.
Oh, yeah.
No one has ever tried to contain you. And that's what I love about you, my friend, because you've got that, you know, whatever feels right, just go with it, have fun, it's rock and roll.
That's what Pittsburgh is like, and that's why people remember Chuck Brinkman, and a chill went up my spine when he introduced Have I Sinned. And he fought. You fought the program directors because you knew you wanted to play a particular song.
I want to play to the people who are listening.
Yeah, exactly. You wanted to make sure they enjoyed themselves.
Yeah. They are among your listeners. They are your people.
That's it.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. The boss man, Porky Chapwick, has got the final words here. Pork, what do you want to say to your legions and legions of fans around the world?
I don't want to talk about me, but the governor had a Porky Chadwick week. I was on it in Congress. I had a lot of plaques and everything, but that's all secondary. But the thing that I want to say, I want to use the word sincerity and urgency, because I want to urge the young people to derive something good that they got out of my music and prove to them they are somebody. I'm not better than them, they're not better than me, and we're here for a short time, and I want them to keep the music. It's so great, the greatest music in the world. I want them to really, I'm talking, do this for your grandchildren. I'm talking to adults right now, and make sure that they derive something out of music, and they'll have a good purpose in this world and make this place a better place to live. Improve mankind. Keep Porky music in your soul.
So, Pork, give us a final rap. We got to have a Porky rap here.
Do your famous ones.
It's later for the Porculator. Right now, my man, I'm gone.
All right.
Fred Bond, where's Fred Bond? Freddie, come on over here real quick. Fred Bond, come over here real quick. We want to really thank you for being a part of it tonight. It's really been special. As always, Attic Records, I can't talk about your place enough. You really, it's where I go every day.
412-821-8484.
If you call us or email us.
Every week on Charlie out. This is a great night being here with all the guys. It was wonderful. You do a great job. Now that I see the way you do it, I love it.
Well, you know,
when I grow up, I want to be just like you.
Thank you, Fred. But
Freddie, you'll never grow up.
If it wasn't for the foundation that you had laid with the live shows, I'm not sure we could have had the success we've had on television. So that needs to be said to you, my friend. Really does.
You know, when Porky mentioned young people, you know, there are a lot of younger folks who do like this music, a lot of them. And on the internet, they connect with each other, which is a great thing about the internet. And they do talk about oldies and doo-wop and rock and roll and Little Richard. And I think it's important for people to realize that what you hear on the radio today isn't necessarily what somebody wants to hear. It's what the program director or the market
or the jukebox, the computer decides. The computer decides everything.
There's a lot.
It's not like that here on Sirius.
TJ, somebody's got to thank you, because really what you showed about this country was that the music we loved then and that you love now is saleable in this country. People will listen and will spend money to buy the CDs.
Well, I never understood, and you know, Chuck, you would know more about this because you understand that programming mentality. I never understood that you're over 50, no one cares anymore, and that's the thing that I think most contributed to television. Age didn't matter; it was just what felt right. You know,
the theory behind the over 50s, you can't sell it, and the media buyers are 22.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe they need to listen more doo-wop.
Yeah.
Henry DeLuca, last word from you in Pittsburgh, and a guy who's...
This has been a great evening. Thank you. It's been terrific. You have a great little operation here, and the Pittsburgh show, and having all the great Pittsburgh people here. We love it. Couldn't be better.
Good night to the world!
All right, so a little Good Night, Sweetheart, Good Night, Sonora. I think we can all destroy this record.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go home. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go home. I hate to leave you, but I really must say, oh, good night, sweetheart. Good night. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go home. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go home. I hate to leave you. I really must say, oh, good night, sweetheart. Good night. Well, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Baby, I just can't get right. Well, I hate to leave you, baby. Don't mean maybe, because I love you so. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. I hate to leave you. I really must say, oh, good night, sweetheart. Good night. Mother, oh, and your father like it if I stay here too long. One kiss and goodbye, and I'll be going. You know I hate to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. I hate to leave you. I really must say, oh, good night, sweetheart. Good night.
Watts of memories.
Oldies commercial free.
It's more of that good old time rock and roll.
Serious Gold. Love came to me just like I dreamed it would. And I'm glad that I found you, 'cause our love is a gas and I know it'll last. And I feel so good. And knock, knock, knock on wood. Yeah. So good, just like I dreamed it would. And I'm still glad that I found you, 'cause our love is a gas and I know it'll last. And I feel so good.